Welcome to the Learn True Health podcast. I'm your host, Ashley James. This is
episode 422. I am so excited for today's guest. We have on the show Faith Flatt, who is the head of merchandising of a US-based company that normally produces all-natural pain creams. But since COVID-19, they formulated a hand sanitizer because, let's be honest, I cannot find any hand sanitizer anywhere. I've been to every store, even online. It is all sold out, or they jacked up the prices like on eBay and Amazon. People on OfferUp are like making homemade sanitizer. I mean, it is crazy right now. And so when I found out that one of my favorite all-natural pain cream companies had formulated a all-natural hand sanitizer that kills, what is it, like 99.9% of germs?
Yes,
Yes.
it does.
And it not only that, because I mean, we could all just douse ourselves in, alcohol, which would just dry out our skin, make it crack and bleed, and then we'd be more susceptible to germs. You guys produced a hand sanitizer that actually conditions the skin and moisturizes the skin, leaving it protected on many levels. And you guys are producing 30,000 units a day so that people who are like me in hotspots, like I'm just outside the Seattle area where there is zero hand sanitizer available in any store, that I can gain access to hand sanitizer. And this is so important because, yes, of course, we should all wash our hands, but when we go grocery shopping, we're constantly touching things. Like we want to just have that extra level of protection for ourselves and our family and our loved ones who are elderly and more susceptible by immediately using hand sanitizer so we don't bring a potential virus home with us and infect someone who could potentially die. So a little bottle of hand sanitizer can save a life at this point. And your company is providing these all-natural hand sanitizers. And so that's why I'm very excited. I'm excited to have you on the show to tell us about this hand sanitizer. Listeners can go to learntruehealth.com/hand to buy some right now. When you go to learntruehealth.com/hand, it gives you the ability to also get some discounts by buying in bulk or buying like a whole pack of them. And if you use coupon code LTH, you also get a gift. So that's great. I want to hear more about what's in the hand sanitizer. Why is it that it's natural? And that it actually conditions the skin. Because when I use it, I'm holding it right now, and my son, who has really sensitive skin, I'm going to put some on my hand right now, so I can just describe the sensation, because what it feels like is, it feels like I just put cream. So I can smell the alcohol, because of course there's 70% alcohol in this, but it doesn't feel like I put alcohol on my skin. It doesn't feel like all those other hand sanitizers. It actually just feels like I just rubbed cream on my hands. My hands feel moisturized and smooth and soft. So I want to know, why is it that your hand sanitizer is like the bomb, first of all. And so we're going to talk about that. But first, and I had is Tim your father-in-law?
Yes,
Yeah.
this is a family business, and he's my father-in-law.
Right. I had Tim on the show, I don't know, maybe about a year ago, to talk about Real-Time Pain Relief, your company, and the natural pain creams and their benefits and the amazing stories of success of people actually reducing pain medications because of how effective your pain cream is. And so when listeners go to learntruehealth.com/hand, they'll also be able to see your other products if they'd like to try your pain creams. But right now, the focus is on the hand sanitizer, which is really exciting. Tell us a little bit about you and your story, and like we heard about Tim's story. Tim's, being one of the founders of Real-Time Pain Relief. Tell us a little bit about you and how you got into working with Real-Time Pain Relief and the history of your family-based company.
Yeah, well, with all family businesses, if it's something that people are passionate about everyone in the family kind of gets sucked into it, into the vortex. And the Flatt family and their business partner, Ron Snodgrass, the Snodgrass family, are just very consumed and passionate about helping people with topical pain relief. And I married into the family about a decade ago, but even before I married in, it was, this was a passion project for them. They were really focused on making sure that people had better alternatives to pain relief. And so about 20 years ago, Real Time Pain Relief introduced their first pain relief formula. And it was developed with the pain relief habits of their children and their sports teams in mind. And pretty soon they found out that it wasn't just children and their sports teams that were needing a better alternative to pain relief. Everyone really needed an alternative to popping OTC pain pills as if they were harmless.
Right.
That was very concerning to the Real Time Pain Relief family. And so soon we found that parents, grandparents, they were some of our more predominant users of the Real Time Pain Relief formulas. And that was kind of how a company was born and a business was built. And one of the founding pieces of Real Time Pain Relief and our commitment to our customer base from then and to this day is that all of our formulas would be rich in nature's ingredients, and that we would always steer clear of the synthetic fillers that are in most of the formulas that you're going to find on OTC shelves inside of stores. So parabens, SLS, artificial dyes, NSAIDs, acetaminophen, all of the Real Time Pain Relief formulas steer clear of that. And for me personally, getting to step into the family business, I have gone out to so many farmers markets and state fairs and eventually Boston Marathon, New York City Marathon, just places where we would go and personally sample the formulas that Real Time Pain Relief carries. And it's so fun to watch through the years in the last decade that I've been involved, how the consumers out there are becoming more conscious, and how you'll even have younger people much more interested in alternatives that are good for them. So for me personally, getting to work in the merchandising and communicating, helping to communicate all of the wonderful features of the Real Time Pain Relief formulas and now our new hand sanitizer is really meaningful and a very enjoyable part of my family life.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm looking at the bottle. No parabens, no SLS, no artificial dyes, and no fragrances. And you guys decided not to even put essential oils in here. I mean, someone could just add essential oils, a few drops to their hand if they want to, but there is some chamomile in here. But I don't, like I said, I just briefly, when you put it on, I briefly smell the alcohol, and now it's been a few minutes. I'm smelling my hand. I don't smell anything. Like it's very, very, very faint, if anything, but my hand feels very soft. Like I just got a hand treatment. So there's something about this that is very, like it says it's a hand conditioner, and that's even a better word than hand. Like it's not a moisturizer. It really conditions the skin. It's left my skin feeling very moist. It's not cracked anymore because my hand was getting dried out from all the other alcohol-based hand sanitizers. So I'm really enjoying it. And like I said, I think I mentioned this, but my 5-year-old who had sensitive skin doesn't react to your hand sanitizer. So that's really exciting that some people with sensitive skin would also be confident using your hand sanitizer. And then of course you have a hand treatment in addition to this they could get if they have really, really dry skin. We need to protect our skin right now more than ever. It's our first line of defense when it comes to our immune system because it keeps germs out. But if there's any cracks in your skin, that's a potential, even if like your cuticles are cracked. I mean, that's a potential for where the viruses can get in. And so we just want to protect our skin as much as possible and obviously sanitize it and then moisturize it. And that's why I really like this stuff. So when did you guys develop the hand sanitizer? Was this years in the making, or did you guys just see the need and jump on it?
So we work with a wonderful chemist, and we have access to wonderful ingredients from nature. We have in the past dabbled with hand sanitizer, but it wasn't really an essential like it is right now. It wasn't the commodity that it's become. So it was never a part of our permanent product line. But we had the ability to very quickly adjust to what the market was needing. And we realized very quickly that our customer base was in need of this essential. And if we could make it available to them, that was what we wanted to do. So while we normally spend many years developing a formula, we developed this one and brought it to market within about a week and a half.
Wow.
And so that was about 3 weeks ago. So it was very quick turnaround time as the crisis has begun to really unfold and make hand sanitizer, like you said, really a first line of defense that everyone needs. If you're at home, it's nice when you can just wash your hands with an antibacterial soap, but almost everyone still has to go out to get groceries and things like that right now. If you leave the house without a hand sanitizer, you're really walking out unarmed. And so realizing that our customers who, because of the way our product was founded and the ideas behind our product, was that basically if you are a real-time pain relief customer, you're a member of the family. Our formulas were formulated for family at the beginning. And as our customer base has grown, we've always just kind of felt like anyone who was turning to our formulas was someone that we considered family. So if our family members all across the US were doing without hand sanitizer, we wanted to make this first line of defense available to them. And all of those nourishing ingredients that you're talking about in the formula and that feeling you get afterwards is very intentional. Certainly it makes it more fun to use the formula if it doesn't leave you cracked and dried out at the end of the experience. But at least okay, if it has 70% alcohol, then it's killing 99.99% of the germs. And also, on that note, according to the CDC, I'm sure a lot of people are aware of this at this point, but even the CDC says that if your hand sanitizer contains 70% alcohol, that it will kill 99.99% of germs, including human coronavirus. So that gives you a really strong sense of security when you have hand sanitizer. But the question right now is, do you have it in stock? And so us making it available to our customers was kind of the first step. And the second step was to make sure that it still lived up to our customers' values, that we kept it clear of the unwanted fillers that are in most hand sanitizers right now, and that we infused it with ingredients that would prevent that cracking. Because as you said, Ashley, that opens your skin up to the infection, that opens your body up to any type of disease and infection when you have a cut. So right now, this is definitely not the time to back down on your health principles or those things you look for inside of your formulas normally. So we wanted to make sure that those rich formulas were available to our customer base. So glycerin, chamomile, vitamin E, aloe vera, things that, if you don't have our formula, you want to look for some lotions to put on after you apply a hand sanitizer. But when you can get it all in one application, that's really a lovely spot to be in. So our hand sanitizer, we went ahead and named it Hand Sanitizer Plus Skin Conditioner because we wanted you to recognize our users, our customers to recognize that they would be getting a full range experience. This is really a hand sanitizer unlike anything else in the marketplace. It's an antimicrobial gel that delivers the perfect solution. Since alcohol does dry out your skin, this moisturizing experience in conjunction with the alcohol is really the perfect duo, and it conditions even as you clean. So it's kind of the best of both worlds.
I read somewhere that you only need it to be 65% alcohol to kill the coronavirus. Is that correct?
So there are two different types of alcohol, and the alcohol, one type of alcohol, it takes 70%, and that is the type that we use inside of our formula.
Got it. And do you know the reason behind choosing the type of alcohol you guys chose over the other type?
Well, I'll tell you that I'm not the person who directly oversees our alcohol purchases, but it is very difficult right now to obtain alcohol.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that that perhaps had something to do with our decision, but we are committed to getting alcohol in stock and keeping it in stock because we think this is so necessary and important for our customers.
Mm-hmm.
One interesting thing as well is that the price of alcohol has more than doubled since the crisis began.
Mm-hmm.
So we're really in a battle for the commodities and essentials that everyone needs and that we even need to make this formula, but we are committed to making this available to our customers, and we really want to bring all of the resources that we have with our FDA monitored facility, our ability to make FDA approved labels, to give people a formula they trust from a brand they trust in this, what is really a warlike effort right now, where all small businesses, all hands on deck, need to come together to help fight the crisis that we're in the middle of. So as a company, for us, this is our positive action, and we're willing to fight and find the alcohol that we need to source for this formula.
Awesome. Now, the very first ingredient is aloe juice, which I think is really cool. And everyone knows that aloe juice is very healthy for the skin. It's anti-inflammatory. It's very soothing. I had an expert on the show about aloe and healing benefits, and there are several scientific studies that show that aloe increases healing time. So much so that it almost doubles healing time. So when you put aloe on a burn or a cut, you will see it heal in half the amount of time it would take. So if it would take let's say 3 days to heal a burn, we put aloe on it, it's only going to take a day and a half. And so you have the first ingredient is medicinal. It's something that helps to heal the skin, condition the skin, and keep it healthy. It's like a layer of protection. Can you tell us about the other ingredients?
Sure. So most of them are ingredients that the average person's going to be familiar with. Aloe vera, as you were mentioning, chamomile, vitamin E, and glycerin. While those ingredients have really positive connotations, and I absolutely believe what you're saying about aloe vera and love those types of ingredients for my own personal use with my family, we are very limited in what we're actually able to say that each ingredient specifically does inside of the formula. So we mix those in so that you do get nourishing effects. But as far as the individual benefit of each ingredient, we're kind of limited in what we can say that it actually does for you.
Oh, right, because you can't make health claims as a company. You can't say, buy our hand cream and you will, your psoriasis will be gone. Like, you can't make health claims. Whereas if someone were to take these individual ingredients and they could go search the NIH or PubMed, they could find the scientific studies showing that these individual ingredients are safe and that they've been proven to be safe, and some of them are proven to actually be medicinal and healing. But combined together, it's made a hand sanitizer that protects your hands and also protects your skin.
Right. We can promise you that this is going to condition your skin and it's going to leave you feeling nourished and moisturized. And certainly, I encourage you to do some research on these ingredients and kind of see what some of the extra benefits to you could be.
Right. Well, it's funny because, you're at the grocery store, and some of the grocery stores still have hand sanitizer to offer the customers, not to buy, but just like a giant jug. Like, we were at Whole Foods and they had this giant jug, and I, of this just regular run-of-the-mill hand sanitizer, and I'm pumping it into my hand, giving some to my son, and my husband turns to me and goes, "Isn't that carcinogenic?" And I look at him, I'm like, yeah, like we normally don't use this stuff, like this, just the generic hand sanitizers, because you look and there's parabens and there's all kinds of carcinogenic, like you said, fillers and preservatives and whatever, that is known to cause cancer, that is known to cause damage to the body. And we normally as a family don't touch those with a 10-foot pole. But now it's like, well, either that or, we might accidentally get the coronavirus. And of course, we're self-isolating now, but back when we were seeing our son's grandparents a few weeks ago, you know, I was worried. I was like, well, what's going to happen, right? So I'd love to get them because they go grocery shopping and I'm just worried about them. You know, they're almost in their 80s. I'm worried that they might catch the germ when they're out grocery shopping because they don't have access to hand sanitizer. And so I'm definitely going to get them. I'm going to ship them a tube of this for sure. And you only use
Yeah, it's a string.
how much do you use? Because it's only like a pea-sized amount. Like this tube's gonna last me forever because you just put a pea-sized amount, and because it's a gel, it, you know, covers both sides of your hands really quickly. Is there like a recommended how much you should use on your hands to make sure that it works?
No, the only recommendation really is, just to make a little drop. And then a lot of people don't know this, but you do want to rub your hands all around your hands until it's dry. And then that will make sure that the alcohol gets a chance to activate and to actually kill the germs. So
Mm-hmm.
right now, especially, we want to make sure we're using the hand sanitizer properly. And I'm glad you mentioned the tube as well. That's one of my favorite features of this formula. The container makes it very easy to share with your kids, or if your friend or somebody around you wants to borrow some hand sanitizer, you don't necessarily want them touching your pump bottle. So the tube just makes it really easy to drop a little bit on the top of their hand and not share germs in that way.
And pump bottles waste so much because you end up getting way too much in your hands. And then that's what everyone thinks they need that much, but it's I think it's intentional that these companies do that so that you kind of go through it faster and then you buy more. Whereas with yours, you get to squeeze out however much you want, and it's like you said, it's a gel. I squeeze out about a pea sized, maybe a large pea, maybe an edamame size. And then yeah, like I rub both sides of my hands and then and in between my fingers, and then it dries really fast within seconds. So that's actually good information about keep rubbing your hands until it's dry. But I use so much less with yours versus the pump ones. So I really like that. Now, like you said, your company for years has been dabbling with, so I'm sure you guys had like a formula in mind, or did you kind of go back to the drawing board and start from scratch 3 weeks ago when you were inventing the hand sanitizer?
I think we knew kind of the base of what we wanted to do, and then just getting it into that finalized position and getting all of the marketing material and making sure that we were able to communicate clearly, that we had the correct label on the formula. That was really what was what the focus was over the last week and a half. But we certainly had a good idea of what ingredients would work well so that you do get that kind of wonderful experience you're reading. And we've gotten, or that you're sharing with us. And we've got some wonderful testimonials from some early users of the formula. And I just wanted to share some of those with
Yeah,
you.
please.
Some Someone, let's see, Alyssa, she said that the smooth finish and silky filling are delightful, which is not something you commonly hear after using a hand sanitizer.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually kind of a dry, icky feeling. Joe said clean hands with no dry feeling, perfect. Bethany loves that it's not scented. And then Ryan said that it doesn't dry his hands out. So I think we're definitely getting the results we wanted from this formula. And the feedback so far is that people are happy and happy to have it. Like you mentioned, you want to send this to members of your family. It's a strange time to live in where hand sanitizer is probably one of the best gifts you could get right
Oh
now,
yeah.
but it's so hard. It's so hard to find, and it's so essential as a first line of defense against this disease, that we're happy to be doing it. And it really fits back into who we are as a company. Real-time pain relief's primary goal is to make sure that individuals have a first line of defense when pain enters their home. And so that's what we've been passionate about with our topical pain reliefs for a long time, is to make sure that you have an option that doesn't have those fillers inside of it, that doesn't lead you to popping a pain pill anytime pain enters your home. Because one of the best ways to avoid a bad habit or to make good health choices is to make sure that you have an alternative. And so we're happy that we're able to provide that non-carcinogenic hand sanitizer to our customer base because everyone needs it right now. And now you have another alternative.
Absolutely. Yes, I'm loving it. I'm just thinking, I started thinking about all the families I know that are multi-generational, like my dear, dear Aunt Sally, who I love to bits, lives just outside of LA, and she lives with she's in her 80s. I think she's 86. Um, and she lives with her grandchildren and her son and her son's wife. And these kids, they're going to well, not now, they're not going to school, but they might be going out they might be going to the park, they might be running around, maybe they'll have a play date. Maybe they're on lockdown. I don't know, but they might go out and maybe they see a friend in the street. Maybe they accidentally catch the virus, or maybe they go to the grocery store. And if they don't have access to hand sanitizer, they might bring it back and infect my aunt, who is in the vulnerable population, because statistics are showing that those who are seniors are much more likely to have severe effects of the virus versus youth. So think of all the people where a senior citizen lives in a family where there are maybe younger people who aren't, they might be asymptomatic if they catch the virus, but if they bring it home, it could be fatal for someone else in the home. And so that's why this hand sanitizer is so important, that the younger generations use it to protect the older generations right now. And of course, the older generations should use it too, but everyone should use it. I just think that people, like teenagers and people in their 20s, because I remember I was there, we kind of feel invincible and like, oh, whatever, if I get it, it won't be a problem. But what if you get it and you're asymptomatic, and for 2 weeks you're shedding it and giving it to everyone you come in contact with? That is potentially murdering people. So I know I'm kind of being extreme, and normally I'm not like a fear monger. I kind of feel like I'm being one right now. But just to paint the picture, like something as simple as keeping a hand sanitizer with us at all times can save lives. Just like people are saying, well, masks in certain situations can save lives. Hand sanitizer, I think, is more important, because you are going to touch something and then you touch your eye. That through the eye, they're saying, is one of the biggest ways that we can catch the coronavirus. Obviously through eyes, nose, and mouth, but even if you're wearing a mask, and you're wearing gloves, and then you touch the virus and you don't realize it, and then you accidentally rub your eye, even with gloves on, you're still potentially putting the virus in your eye. So that's where the hand sanitizer is the most important thing to do. I know we're not going to make a huge long interview on hand sanitizer, but I wanted to just cover it as much as possible to let the listeners know that I was so excited that it's available. So listeners are going to go to learntruehealth.com/hand. That's learntruehealth.com/hand, and grab some for yourself, grab some for your neighbors, grab some for your loved ones, get it to ship, your company will ship it to them. Now, how fast is this shipping? Because you guys are, I read, you gave me the information that you're producing 30,000 units a day. Are you able to produce more than that? Or are you shutting down making your other products? Could you make more than 30,000? Are you selling out? And how fast does it ship? Is it selling out, or is there any fear that you're going to sell out? We want to know.
So we've taken this, we started out really slowly, even though, like I said, 3 weeks and then a week and a half later, it's available. It doesn't sound too slow, but we've taken it cautiously. First of all, no, we're not stopping producing our topical pain relief formulas. So to anybody who uses real-time pain relief, don't panic. We're still doing that, because pain relief is an essential service, and we definitely know you need that. We're just taking more precautions in, cleaning our facilities and making sure that you've got a clean delivery every time. But yeah, we have transitioned a portion of our production line into putting out 30 units a day. And at first we thought, okay, that's really going to be enough to supply our customers, get them all caught up, and then we'll be in a good spot. But what's interesting, Ashley, is within about 48 hours of releasing this formula to a limited group of our customers at first, because we wanted to make sure we had our stock pile good before we released it to all of our customers, we were being hit up by major organizations and businesses across the country saying, hey, we need this too.
Mm-hmm.
So we realized quickly that we could service and help in this fight, not just by making hand sanitizer available to our customer base, but also to supplying America's workforce. And by this, I mean organizations and corporations who are really keeping America running right now.
Mm-hmm.
We hear so much right now about the heroes who are our nurses and doctors, and they're getting a ton of attention, and they deserve that so much. But there's another segment that really has become a hero: all of the grocery store operators, all of the truckers, all of the takeout deliveries services. These people are literally risking their lives much more than those of us who are able to isolate at home, and they need hand sanitizer. They're low on hand sanitizer. So, I think about I live in a small town in New Hampshire, so you kind of get to know everyone at the cash register, and they become your friends, and you realize they're still out there right now while I'm isolating at home with my children, and they're heroes. And it just almost brings tears to your eyes to recognize that some of them don't have access to hand sanitizers. So when we started getting those calls, we realized we were going to make this a big priority, and we were able to put together a large enough supply, and we believe we'll be able to maintain it. We are able to offer wholesale packages to businesses and organizations starting at 42 units, depending on the size of company. Maybe you have friends or family who own a business or organization. 42 units all the way up to 100,000 units. So if you know somebody who's in need of a large quantity of hand sanitizer, we want to help. We want to make that available to you because we believe that everybody deserves to have access to hand sanitizer as a first line of defense from this disease.
I love it. Now, you started out making 30,000 units a day. What's your production now?
So right now we're still producing 30,000 units a day. We do have it in stock at the time of this recording, but just for peace of mind for customers, we do have a ship date, an estimated ship date on the landing page. So whenever you go to order, it'll indicate when your hand sanitizer will ship.
Yeah, and it was fast. So that's great news. There might be, shipping right now is kind of like Amazon, for example, said I ordered something and it said it's not going to arrive till April 21st, but then it arrived the next day. So I'm like, what's going on? So I think shipping's being a little weird because they're for other companies, because they're not, or like USPS and FedEx and UPS, I'm not sure if they're like limiting their staff or if they're maybe overloaded because everyone's home, so they're ordering online, or if they're limiting their staff because of they have to do social distancing. But what I do know is that I got my shipment from you guys super fast. I was really excited about that. And so far, all your customers have been able that you released it to were able to get it and start using it and give feedback. So that's great.
We've actively been able to fill orders, and we have enough right now to be filling very quickly, and we're still servicing large accounts that are calling us and needing the supply. Our first priority is to our customer base, but we do have everything in place to be able to service these organizations and kind of unsung heroes with hand sanitizer as well. And one thing I wanted to throw out as well is that we're not the only company contributing in the hand sanitizer realm right now. There are a lot of small businesses lending a big hand. I'm sure you may have heard that a lot of distilleries right now are making hand sanitizer. But one thing about those is the distilleries are not licensed to both produce and sell the formulas. So that influx of hand sanitizer doesn't necessarily make it out to the general population. So what most of that is going to, most of those hand sanitizer supplies are being donated to first responders and government officials and nurses. So that's wonderful. We're really happy that kind of the distilleries are helping to fill that gap there. And then we're happy to be here helping just the everyday consumer. And, one thing for healthcare officials compared to like just the everyday person, they have to wash their hands up to 100 times a day. So much more than we do. They're going to be going through that quickly. So it's nice that we can kind of all partner together in this really warlike effort to help make sure that everyone is taken care of.
I just thought, wouldn't it be cool if you have the means, the listener who's listening right now, if you have the means to buy like 10 bottles, for example, if you have the means to do so, give a bottle to your mailman. Give a bottle to your UPS driver. We have a Facebook group of like 270 people that are just our neighbors in our little neighborhood of maybe 3 square miles. And our UPS driver joined our Facebook group, which just blows my mind. And he posted updates. He's like, I want to let you guys know that I am sanitizing my hands in between every single delivery. And back when we had a snowstorm where no one could get out of their driveway for over a week, unless you had 4-wheel drive, he posted that he was because he couldn't even get into our neighborhood. He would stay for an hour by the gas station near our area, and for those who could get out, he'd be able to give their packages to them. So I mean, he's been in communication with us in times of crisis, but he said, I promise you, I am doing everything I can to make sure that your deliveries are like safe, that I keep myself sanitized. And I'm just thinking, like, these postal workers who are actually taking the time to buy their own hand sanitizer if they can, which no one can find any. So I would love to get him a bottle, because it's, everyone's running out. And so like your mailman, the checker at your grocery store, if they don't have any, the people that you run into, even though we're supposed to be, self-isolating, but the people that you do run into when you go, like the checkers and the mailmen and the delivery people, and your neighbors and your loved ones, obviously, we could, if we have the means, buy some extra bottles so that we can give it to those who have to be out there. And like you said, like delivery people who have to be out there and don't have access to it. So that'd be really cool to pass it along. One of my friends posted on Facebook that their church is encouraging them to leave toilet paper out on their front porch. Obviously not like in the weather, but like underneath the roof or whatever. Leave some toilet paper out on the porch. And so if anyone needs some, they'll see some toilet paper and they'll get it. And then other churches I heard were encouraging people to make a clear plastic bin with essentials, so like food and toilet paper, and with a sign that says, if you need some, please take it. And that way we're helping our community, where we're, helping each other, especially those in need, because there are those in our community who lost their jobs, who were living paycheck to paycheck, and now they have to figure out how to make ends meet. And if even just buying one bottle of hand sanitizer for that person, because now they're going to do like Uber Eats or something, and they're going to be a delivery person just to make ends meet, that's supportive of them, right? So if we can get together and figure out how we can support the people in our community who aren't being supported, uh, by giving them some extra toilet paper, giving them some food, or giving them a hand sanitizer, then we will all help each other. Um, a rising tide floats all boats. And I love that saying because I imagine all the neighborhoods being lifted up because we are all the tide that's rising. We are all doing it, that effort together. So if we can think about how we can help others in our community, if we have the means, if you have the means, help. Do what you can. Do it safely, but do what you can. And just because we're social distancing doesn't mean that we don't still help each other and still care for each other. It has been so great having you on the show to talk about this. I'm really excited that you're providing this really essential service. Is there anything else that you'd like to say about your company, about this hand sanitizer? Just any of the science or the studies? Is there anything that you really want to make sure that you got to say today?
Well, I'd love to thank you, first of all, for having us, just to talk about this new formula that really can make a difference. I want to say, make sure you are practicing good hygiene and utilizing any hand sanitizer, but of course, the hand sanitizer plus skin conditioner from Real Time is wonderful. But first of all, we believe that everyone deserves the ability to fight off germs, and that, as you said, Ashley, we all have our part to play to protect those around us. So hand sanitizer is just very important right now. And we're excited to be doing our part. And I want to say one last time that if you're an organization or a business, or you know of one that's in need of hand sanitizer, or you yourself just want to share it with others, as Ashley recommended, we've got some wonderful bundle options available. And we're just looking forward to partnering with you to get hand sanitizer plus skin conditioner into more people's hands.
Awesome. Listeners can go to learntruehealth.com/hand. That's learntruehealth.com/hand to buy the hand sanitizer, either individual or, like you said, the bundles. And you can also use the coupon code LTH to get a fun gift. It's been such a pleasure having you on the show, Faith. Thank you so much for all you do. I know you've been working like a fiend the last 3 weeks to help get this out there, to help get the hand sanitizer out there. I'm really impressed that you guys could turn around in that short period of time and produce such a high quality product. But I shouldn't be surprised because that's what you guys do. So it's been pretty awesome. And I also recommend, if listeners do have any pain, check out their other pain creams. I am a big fan of the Max pain cream myself. But you guys also have other formulas. And George Foreman has his own formula, which has like everything in it. I haven't tried that one yet. But I've heard that it's now everyone's favorite formula. So
it's a knockout, I'll tell you.
Right? Well, I've loved everything George Foreman's ever done, so I wouldn't be surprised. So listeners, when you go to learntruehealth.com/hand and you buy your hand sanitizer, then, if you do have any pain, or if you know a friend or family member that has pain, then also check out the different pain creams, the George Foreman pain cream, because I looked at all the ingredients. I was really, really impressed with everything that was in it, and that it actually does work. And I've even given some of your pain creams to some friends who are in chronic pain with like fibromyalgia and with osteoporosis, and they were so thankful. I've heard nothing but good feedback from experiencing your pain creams. So I was really happy. And the fact that people significantly reduce their pain meds when using your pain creams is so beautiful, because those pain meds are so harmful to the body. And so if we can do it naturally, then we're really protecting that person in the long run. So thank you for everything you do. Keep up the great work. And I look forward to hearing from the listeners. Listeners can go to the Facebook group, the Learn Trail Facebook group, and share with us your experience with with this hand sanitizer, how you and your family are enjoying it. And I would also love to hear from the listeners in the Facebook group how you gifted this hand sanitizer to someone in your community. I think that's so inspirational. I love those stories of pay it forward. So if you do buy the hand sanitizer for someone else, please post it in the Learn Trail Facebook group. I'd love to hear that story. This is the time. This is the time. It's kind of like Christmas, where it's like one of those Christmas tales where, the whole town doesn't have any presents, right? Or the something really bad happens. We all come together and we end up making a Christmas miracle. So we're all gonna come together and give each other hand sanitizer and support each other in this really crazy time. Faith, thank you so much for coming on the show and thank you for producing this hand sanitizer. I am going shopping today and I can't wait to bring it with me. So I feel very happy that I have this tube right now when I go grocery shopping today.
Well, I'm glad you have it too. Thank you for having me, Ashley.